New Jersey just passed these gun bills while you were distracted, and today we're going to talk about why this matters nationally. While most people were preparing for the holidays, shopping, traveling, spending time with family, lawmakers in New Jersey were doing something very different. They passed a new package of gun control laws, quietly, during a lame duck session, and with national consequences that go far beyond this state. If you own a firearm anywhere in America, you need to understand what just happened in New Jersey and why it matters to you. Welcome back to Martell Training Group. If you're new here, I'm Steve Mazzagatti, retired New Jersey State Trooper, former paramedic, and firearms instructor. This channel exists for one reason: to help everyday citizens understand personal safety, lawful self-defense, and the reality of firearm law, without fear, hype, or political noise. And today's topic fits that mission exactly. This is not just another New Jersey gun law update. This is about strategy, because after the Supreme Court's Bruin decision, states like New Jersey can't simply ban firearms outright anymore. So instead, they regulate behavior. They regulate data, they regulate time, and they regulate uncertainty. New Jersey has become a testing ground, and what survives here gets copied elsewhere. During the holiday period, 4 major firearms-related bills were pushed through the legislature and sent to the governor. According to the legislative alerts issued at the time, these bills were framed as public safety measures, but in practice, they expand liability, criminalize possession of information, manipulate data collection, and delay due process. Let's break these down clearly in plain English. The first bill claims to target gun trafficking, but instead it places new liability on lawful firearms dealers. Under this law, a dealer can be punished if they, quote, reasonably should know, end quote, that a buyer is prohibited, even when that buyer has already passed both state and federal background checks. So let that sink in, folks. The state approves the transfer. The federal system, or the NICS system, the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, approves them, but if the state later decides it doesn't like the outcome, the dealer becomes responsible. This shifts accountability away from the government systems and onto private businesses. Nationally, this matters because it discourages lawful commerce through fear, not enforcement. When you pressure dealers hard enough, access disappears without a single ban ever being written. The next bill criminalizes the possession of digital instructions related to illegal firearm manufacturing. Not distribution, not use, possession. That means files sitting on an old hard drive, an email attachment from years ago, a document you didn't even realize you still had. There's no intent requirement here. This isn't about building a firearm, it's about owning information. And that raises serious constitutional questions, not just under the Second Amendment, but under the First. Other states are watching this closely. Another bill requires the Attorney General to collect data on shootings that did not result in bodily injury. At first glance, that sounds harmless, but data collection is never neutral. How data is gathered, framed, and reported determines how future laws are justified. This bill doesn't prevent crime. It creates a narrative foundation. That foundation will be used later to argue for additional restrictions, both in New Jersey and elsewhere. We've seen this playbook before, folks. The final bill allows courts additional time to consider pretrial detention when a firearm offense is involved. After objections, the bill was amended to limit detention extensions, but the core issue remains. When firearm charges are treated differently than other offenses, punishment begins before conviction. Due process isn't denied outright, it's delayed, and delays matter. If you don't live in New Jersey, you might be thinking this doesn't affect you. That's a mistake. New Jersey doesn't pass laws hoping they only work here. It passes laws hoping they survive court challenges long enough to be cited elsewhere. Other states look to New Jersey for legal language, regulatory structure, data justification, court outcomes. This is how restrictions spread, incrementally, legally, and quietly. We've seen this, folks. It happened after Bruin. New York passed all these restrictions even though in the U.S. Supreme Court NYSERPA versus Bruin decision, Justice Thomas warned against specific restrictions. New York did it anyway. They passed a comprehensive anti-carry law, and New Jersey followed suit and did the same thing. After Bruin, lawmakers couldn't ban firearms outright. So now the strategy is exhaustion. More rules, more liability, more ambiguity, more cost. Not to stop criminals, but to make lawful ownership harder, riskier, and more confusing for everyone else. That's not safety. That's compliance by attrition. If you live in New Jersey, document everything, understand your digital exposure, know how firearms-related charges affect pretrial rights, and if you're a dealer, stop assuming that passing a background check ends your legal risk. If you live outside New Jersey, watch your state legislature closely, because if a law survives here in New Jersey, it will show up near you, often with the same language and the same justification. This channel exists to provide clarity before confusion becomes policy. What happened in New Jersey wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, and it wasn't accidental. If you value lawful firearm ownership, personal responsibility, and constitutional boundaries, staying informed is not optional anymore, because what happens in New Jersey never stays in New Jersey. If this breakdown helped you, consider subscribing, and please share it with someone who thinks gun laws don't affect them until they do. And as always, stay informed, stay lawful, and stay prepared. I'll see you in the next one.